All right, we're going live. We're live. You are live. Chuck Cook, Aaron Hall. Aaron, I see you got the blue shirt memo today. That's important.
It's important. Yeah, we got a match.
You know, I got to tell you, I went home last night. I got my mail out of the mailbox. I had a letter in my mailbox. And as you know, we have a little farm in Tennessee, and it was from the county assessor's office. It's like, yikes. And this notice says, hey, I went by your property and the gate's locked. I can't get on it. Yeah, because it's private property. Right. That's why you can't get on my gate. Please call me. No. Assess it from the road, big guy. Assess it from the road. So anyway, I was just like, pulled out of my pocket. I'm going to tell Aaron about this. It's hilarious. Hey, it's great to be with you guys today. Greg may or may not join us. We don't really know. I don't know. I know he doesn't have COVID in London at this point. So we're good in that regard. First thing I want to talk about today, Aaron, is the EB5 litigation. Let me get our EB5 banner up here. Is our EB5 litigation, which are now all filed, along with our colleague Matt Galati. They are pending in 3 different courts, if I'm not mistaken, correct?
Yeah, we have the
Massachusetts, Northern District of California, and
Central District
of California. 3 different cases. Because we have plaintiffs in each of those places. So we're now moving forward with service, and then I'm sure the government moving forward with their motion for summary judgment or motion to dismiss. So that's kind of where we are in those cases. So what we're trying to do, because immigration is working them again, supposedly, but what we're trying to do, one is perhaps save the visas, because they're not going to use all 10,000 of them. But more importantly, our clients were unlawfully delayed because they read the law wrong, and therefore we're trying to get that corrected. We'll see what happens. There we go. That's our brief EB5 update. There's really not much else to share today in that regard. Now, Aaron, I do want to talk about DV 2022. We just briefly mentioned that. This is the Jabbour case, the Jabbour case. Is that right? Is that what we called it?
Jabbour, yeah.
Did I say that right? I think I did. So my phone keeps. My iPhone, my new iPhone stopped working. So I had to take it in, and I took my card and stuck it in my old iPhone, and it has this weird ring. I don't know what's going on. So it's going crazy. So
on the DV 2022, every month when they publish official statistics, I go through and go through every consulate and plug it into a spreadsheet and look at the numbers. And I haven't done it for the latest release, which was just a few days ago. So I will be doing that. But
they must have just released it yesterday, because it wasn't released on Friday.
But I'm, if I'm following the less official statistics, they're still on track to waste over 30,000 visas. And so I think we talked about this last week. We've decided we need to file a motion for a preliminary injunction. So that's what's next on this case. When will it be filed? I'm not sure yet. There's a chance that for some of our plaintiffs, we may be reaching out for a few updates in the next week. And then as soon as it's ready, we'll get it before the court and try to get before a judge.
I think our goal is to file it before the end of May, if I'm not mistaken. Is that right, Aaron?
Yeah, I think we need to.
Yeah, I think we need to do that as well. So we'll get that in and get our clients their visas. I know if you're our client, one of our clients in DV 2022 litigation, we would ask, if you got your visa, you need to update us. You need to update us that you got, because we know.
Tell us the good news. Yes.
Yeah, tell us it's the good news. It's great news. So that's kind of where we are on that. We also have some really weird news on the K1 Manila case, don't we, Aaron?
Yeah, I thought that this was strange. So the government, this is Ramirez, the government filed a motion to reconsider the judge's decision denying their motion to dismiss.
I've never seen that, ever.
In talking with Zach New, who's been working on this case as well, I just think it takes a lot of gall to go back to the judge on a motion to dismiss and say, reconsider it, please. So we have to respond to that, and we're working on that response. But it's going to be very strongly worded, I think, the response, because it is a strange move. And as Chuck said, it's always strange when they're putting so much more work into lawyering these cases rather than just adjudicating adjudicating the visas. So many resources. So I found it strange too, but we'll get a good response then.
Yeah, I think when the other case was dismissed, the Rio case, that hey, the other judge dismissed it. Well, yeah, it's a different case, hosehead.
Right.
The lawyer, I've talked to the lawyer a few times. He's a nice guy. He basically missed the deadline as well for filing the motion to reconsider. And he at midnight, like 11:58, he filed a motion for extension of time to file. And I didn't see it. I saw it the next day. He said, "Do you oppose?" I said, "Yeah, I oppose. I mean, of course I oppose." But he'd already filed his motion to reconsider it. So it's what a pain in the butt. I mean, really, you people disappoint me. Just what it shows you is that this administration is no different from the last administration, as far as this is concerned. They do not want to do their job. They don't want to be forced to do their job as part of it. So we're still fighting on that. Now, I did want to talk about something today before we get to questions, Aaron. And this is potential. Well, again, one brief. The EAD litigation. We're still waiting on the judge. So that's the EAD litigation. Even though all of our clients have their visas, so it's a class action. We just got an EAD in about a week and a half.
Ah, that's good. What category?
That was an AOS.
Oh.
But somebody came in today and their C8, their asylum EAD was filed last June. They don't have it.
First in, first out.
And now, because they could not work, now they lost the protection of the asylum prohibition because they worked illegally. It's absolutely outrageous. It's absolutely outrageous. But we talked last week, Aaron, about EB wastage again. And it's quite clear they're going to waste the visas. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to put together another piece of, we're going to see if we can get plaintiffs that want to litigate this issue in a class action context. Because it's just wrong. I'd almost love to do it in a family-based context as well, because it's quite clear that the Department of State is not prioritizing these visas and will not be issued. I don't know if you noticed this, Aaron. They publish these monthly stats, right? Mm-hmm. But at the CAC statistics page, but they don't give a total. Mm-hmm. They give a grand total.
Yeah.
A grand total of 47,000, which is, if that's a total of all family-based visas. Think about that. They're supposed to issue hundreds of thousands. There's 435,000 they can issue, and they've only issued 47,000. And that includes IRs. I mean, you take out IRs, they probably only issued 20,000. So This is, we're going to put a call out here, I think, in the next week. I need to get Greg on the phone and put something together, but we have to do this. We have to save these visas.
Now, Chuck, am I crazy? Did USCIS not make some grand announcement 3, 4, 5 months back saying we are going to use all the employment-based visas this year?
In October, they said that we will use them all. In fact, they told Charlie Oppenheim, we can get a declaration on this from Charlie, that they can in the United States do between 6,000 and 7,000 EB adjustments a month for employment-based, which gets them to the cap, and gets them to the cap.
So what gives?
And they just clearly stopped doing it. I mean, I don't know about you and your local office, but I haven't seen an employment-based case in a long time at the local office. And yet we know from the last statistics they released that half the employment-based cases are at local offices. They're physically at local offices. So this is just a nightmare of biblical proportions. The worst thing is that we will have plaintiffs that were in last year's litigation that will be plaintiffs again because they haven't been adjudicated. And yet, you and I both have clients that I filed an EB in October that has already been approved. So it is this idea, and I keep talking about this, the whole first in, first out thing is a lie. It's just a flat out lie. And we have so much evidence of that now. I hope they submit a declaration on that. That would be great. So we're going to be putting something out on that in the next week or so. We invite you to pay attention to that. All right, we're going to, today won't be a long day. We've got Rurum was anxious that we weren't on until 12:01. I'm really sorry. Cases at the MVC. My phone is like ringing like a banshee this morning. My case is still at the MVC. No progress. Most frustrating is I mailed them at Almaty, and they say it's a case scheduling. Well, we know this is not true. We know this is not true. I think this is a DV 2022 case. KCC is not scheduling, not doing anything. They're just collecting documents and when the consulate asks for them, they are. What I think is happening here, Aaron, is that there is no clear direction from Foggy Bottom in DC about how these are supposed to work. It's got to be frustrating if you're a recipient, because the visas are available. Europe, they've issued basically almost all the Europe visas have been issued under the lottery. Almost all. They're about almost done with Europe visas.
Yep.
And yet it's more than the rest of the world combined. It's what they've done. And this is clearly systemic racism. It's clearly intentional. And I really look forward to getting this summary judgment, a PI in front of the judge. I think Judge Maida is going to go ballistic when he sees this. I think he's going to go bananas when he sees this.
Well, the whole, not just the numbers going to Europe, but the whole destruction of the DV program is systemic racism. It came from Trump and Miller. They hated the program, and Biden has not fixed it. And so they're allowing these decisions that were driven by systemic racism to still be the policy of the department.
Well, one thing I know is a lot of good people left the Barton administration when when Trump was president. Who's left? People that were enforcing his policies, right? They're still there. It was shocking that the Deputy Secretary for Consular Affairs has not publicly said anything about this, anything at all. It must be nice to be able to live in a vacuum and not have to be accountable to anybody. So we're going to have to make them, we'll make them accountable. We'll get this PI is going to be rip roaring good. I'm excited. I think it's going to be, Aaron, your problem is going to be keeping your blood pressure down as you put these numbers in.
You're right. It's
this is garg, as they say. Estelle Woodgate, should we tell them we are plaintiff? You can absolutely tell them you're a plaintiff. I don't think they seem to care. But you're welcome to do that.
I don't think it does any good, but it doesn't do any harm either. So
no,
sure.
No harm at all. Frostman, I tell you, did you file the brief and go appeal last week? Oh, by the way, Aaron, I just should have mentioned this. Aaron did the brief, and it is, at least our part of it, a work of art, honestly.
Well, the brief was a major team effort.
I've never worked on a brief. It must have been 15 lawyers working on this brief.
It was, and a lot of people just did an excellent job.
You know what I love is somebody took the job of record checking.
Yeah.
That in and of itself is a nightmarish job when writing a brief. Where in the record does a reference appear? And this is a record over like 6 different cases. This is an immense, crazy record.
It was really a complex thing, and there were some really good lawyers all teaming up, and I think it came out well. So
I think there was probably a pro bono lawyer that was doing that checking, and probably a second-year associate at a big firm. That I'm still thankful to them for doing that.
Absolutely.
But the brief itself is gangbusters good. Now you read the government brief. I read the government brief. What was your take on the government's brief?
It's the same. You sometimes you get these filings in your inbox and you think, okay, what did they come up with now? But no, it's the same old stuff. It's the same stuff that we've argued time and time and time.
It's not fair.
Yeah.
The Secretary of State is God. They can do whatever they want, Judge. You can't tell me how to do my job. Mm-hmm. You can't in equity reserve visas because we did a crappy job. Mm-hmm. Yeah, yes, you can. I don't know how. I do not see the D.C. Circuit overturning the Al-Krami decision. I do not see that happening.
No, I don't either.
I don't see it happening. I feel very confident about this. And our brief on more numbers, I thought was so succinct. It's exactly what, I love Judge Maida, right? No. He didn't get this. He did not get it. His math was wrong. He supposed that everybody would apply, and we know that's not the case. Mm-hmm. That's why the plaintiffs themselves, who are motivated to get the visas should get the visas they asked for. It made no sense to reduce the numbers on any of the cases that he
And
was on.
our point, it's not just specific to that year. It's the DV lottery is not set up. The intention is not that they select so many people that there's a second lottery, and then you have to win the lottery and then win the lottery again. No, it's you get selected. The expectation, it's not a guarantee, but the expectation is that you're likely going to get your application adjudicated.
Yeah, and the Department of State learned early on about 40% of the people aren't going to qualify or apply. Punto. And that's why they notify so many people so they can. One of the things they said once, I don't know if this is in the brief or not. We don't have to issue all the visas.
Right.
Well, yes, you do, and in fact, you plan to issue all the visas by notifying far more people than would normally qualify because you understand how statistics work. So I thought our part of that brief was brilliant, and I can't wait. Are you arguing this or am I arguing this, Aaron? What are you going to do?
It's going to be, I don't know how they're going to split up the argument between 15 attorneys. So we'll cross that.
I know I'm going to be in D.C. I'm not going to miss argue. I love that courthouse, first of all. I really love the courthouse that they're in D.C. I'm not going to miss that. I assume it'll probably be in September. You think about September, probably?
September.
Yeah,
September.
I can't wait for that. Now, when we win, I will be really pissed if they do a petition for cert. I will just be monumentally pissed off. Yeah. I will call Susan Rice personally, and say, "What the hell are you doing?" All right. Let's see, Alex. I've noticed people coming in I-45 being moved from TSC to. Yeah. Well, what's happening is the TSC is a dumping ground, right? They don't have enough bodies. They're clearly not working on the case. Maybe it's poor leadership, poor management. And Nebraska, Aaron, have you ever done a service center tour?
No, I would love to.
Yeah. Back in the day, I've toured all the service centers. Nebraska, it's in Omaha, first of all. So that means everybody's in Nebraska nice. They've got a beautiful facility up there now, and they've got lots of people. And they're really now. What I wish is that instead of doing all these 45s, they would do the 601A waivers that are now 2 years behind. But I get that. But yeah, and I see actually others moving to the National Benefit Center. Okay, National Benefit Center is also good. And the NBC did not used to adjudicate adjustments. They were an EAD center. They were an advanced parole center. They did minor level stuff. It's becoming more of a full service center. So clearly immigration knows they need to adjudicate. Now, Aaron, I was checking our schedule. We've got like 20 NATS interviews in the next 3 weeks in our office.
Wow.
But only 5 adjustments. And they're all family adjustments.
Yeah.
So while the service centers may be doing this, remember, half of these cases are at local offices per the Trump administration, and I haven't seen them being sent back. All right. What happens? Appeal of Go will say that you cannot change reserve numbers because 20 years pass unless it is reserved.
Let me read that again. What if appeal of Go?
He's saying, hey, the numbers are gone, so how can they reserve more numbers? Because of equity. It's equity. You can go back and equitably fix mistakes. The whole reservation is based in equity. It's not based in law. And I think the government just doesn't seem to get that. And Judge, his initial decision a couple of years ago in Gomez and Ecker is based in equity. Mm-hmm. I can fix this. You have clean hands. You didn't screw this up. And that's, you don't see a lot of equitable cases, but this clearly is one of them. Yeah, I know this sucks. I actually had a conversation last week with a fellow who he was complaining that it's been a year since he saw his fiance and he can't get over there. And, it sucks. It just absolutely sucks. Super C, do I need to wait till I get my group before applying for driver's license? Can I use my EB3 visa to apply for such a... Well, if you're in the United States, you have a stamp in your passport that serves as your green card. Go get a driver's license. Now, they only may give it to you for a year, but, then you go back when you get your card. Aaron, I've had some people get their cards in a week and others are waiting 8 months. Once again, there's a model of inconsistency. All right, this is our last question here. We don't have any more than this. Is case still plays role in process DS gives embassy have free place after requested.
So I think he's saying they accept the DS 260 at KCC.
Yeah, well, but they're not reviewing it. All the review, I mean, they just basically serving as a warehouse at this point. But they're not pushing it. I don't know what else they're doing.
They may see, they may see it's complete enough to send to the embassy. But that's.
I'd love to depose the guy that runs that place. That would be so much fun. All right, Aaron, we got no other questions here. We covered all the topics. Legislative update, by the way, Greg's not here. Nothing's passing. That's your legislative update for today. Nothing's happening this week. The Senate is back in session for the next 5 weeks. The House is in session this week, but out next week, and then back for 3 weeks. And I just don't see them passing anything. I just don't see it happening. And in fact, the bill that passed the House, that also passed Senate, where the conference committee is, at least one senator said there will be no immigration provisions in that bill.
I saw that.
Yeah. So that wouldn't surprise me. A couple late after acquired comments here. Any update HMB abuse? Well, other than the fact that there's massive abuse, no. We obviously we have to wait until immigration issues some numbers. My FOIA appeal is pending, however, and another 8 days to me before I can file in federal court on my FOIA appeal about how many duplicate applications there were. Really looking forward to doing that. It's going to be a lot of fun. CB Man, 289 last month. Well, that's probably 289 more than they processed last year at this time. So I know they have thousands pending, but that's at least they're moving. That's a good sign. K1 stuck at CSC will be spread out. CSC has historically done almost all the K1s. So I do not see them moving out of the KCC. Do you, Aaron? Again, we don't do a lot of K1s because I just tell people to get married. I hate K1s. Really hate them. They're for this and many other reasons. I hate the K1. All right. Driver's license in Georgia, they only grant license to the entry state. Yes, exactly. You need, in Georgia, if you're a visitor, for example, you can get a driver's license, which is only good for the 6 months of your stay. Then after that, you need your green card or your employment. Georgia's very strict. How's Colorado? Are they strict or are they pretty open?
Anybody can get a driver's license here.
Yeah. And so basically, anybody get one here. So move to Georgia. And Georgia, no. And so you have all these 9-month EADs that are taking 9 months. They can't get a driver's license. They're out of luck. They're SOL. The whole system absolutely sucks. All right. That's it, Aaron. That's good for today. Good to see you. Hopefully we'll have Greg back with it's probably an email from Greg in here somewhere. He can't be here, but
next week Greg will bring back the optimism on the
on the Congress. We can do that.
Yeah.
Thank you, everybody. Have a great day. Bye-bye.